Well, hello everybody, and welcome to my probably last video that I will make on Northgard. Simply because I have too much to do and Northgard is not that exciting to me anymore. And I'm doing things like programming this app with my mom or creating my own blog where I share my knowledge about motivation, learning, and things I learn in my university about the human body and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So if you want to check that out, feel free to do that. The link is in the description below. But now let's get to the good stuff. In this video I want to teach everybody who starts playing this game or is a beginner what to look out for in order to improve very quickly so that you're not frustrated after your first couple of games. So the first thing you do before every game is picking a clan, and you obviously will pick the gold clan because that's just the go and there's no way around it, so you just pick it. No, with all seriousness, the gold clan is probably the best clan you can pick as a beginner because everything is like very easy to do with them. You can produce food very quickly, you can produce money and farm or mine stone and iron the fastest, and it's just the best thing you can do basically when it comes to picking a clan. So you've picked your clan, you started the game, and what should you do? What should you build first? And this is probably the most important thing you can, or the most useful thing you can pick out of this video, because the build order in this game is very important. Especially in the early game, it is very crucial to know what to build, when and why. Because in the beginning you only have 4 villagers, as you can see right here, which are all mining these +10 food. And if you build with everybody right now, you would do less food right now. And the thing you need the most in the beginning is food. And this is one of the things I like the most with Goat, is that you can build a food resource building right away, like right now, which no other clan can do. But for beginners, I always would do just one building at a time, like a scout camp for example, if you don't play Goat. And this allows you to build a building while 3 other villagers are still farming those juicy little apples. Then I would scout with one guy, just one guy, so the others can still farm food and scout everything around you while building a Woodcutters Lodge. The reason I would recommend for beginners to build buildings one at a time is because the food you collect with those other villagers allows you to take the 2 free tiles you get in the beginning immediately, which allows you to build maybe even 2 food resource buildings if you have 2 food resources on those 2 tiles, or at least 1, so you have food immediately after that. Which I would also recommend you to do is to build 2 food resource building after building the house. And notice where I have built my house. I didn't put it somewhere randomly, I put it on the edge of my first tile. And the reason for that is because this reduces the time villagers need to travel. For instance, this means if I put a stone miner over there, for example, they would usually need to run all the way to the town hall in order to become villagers again, and this way they just need to run to the house. So I would say that the placement of houses is probably the most important thing. So if you see like 3 tiles next to each other, like here, I would always put a house in this spot, so everyone in all the tiles can just run towards the house. And I would place all the buildings on the edge of each tile next to it. And by the way, if you are getting attacked by the first wolf, I would get all my villagers plus a woodcutter, so minimum 4 people, and attack the wolf together, so that the guy who tanks will not be damaged more than half his life. And I would change or like switch this guy, the damaged guy, with the scout I have right now. The reason for that is because damaged people are getting a debuff, so I would rather have a full HP villager instead of a half-life villager, and I would rather scout with a damaged scout, because after a specific time the scout will get damaged anyway, so. But let's get back to the build order. After you have built your 2 resources buildings, which in my case are those 2 sheepfolds, which I would even build if I have only 3 sheeps, because usually food resource buildings are worth 80 wood, and by building only 2 sheepfolds I spend only 120 wood instead of 160 wood by building 2 normal food resource buildings, which allows me as a goat to build another building earlier than others, because this way I have 60 more wood to spend. Then you should build another Woodcutters Lodge in order to guarantee more buildings or more wood in the future. Send 1 guy into the lore zone if you have one, and build a war camp. The war camp I would not build later than August, so that you have still enough time to clear everything around you. After you have done that, you can build an iron miner and a stone miner and mine everything you need. And this is basically your early game build-up setting, or whatever you want to call it. And I would say that this is the most solid early game setup, which basically allows you to do anything you want after that. The build order you can find in the description as well. After you have built everything like I said, you have 5 victory conditions you can choose from. These would be domination, fame, wisdom, trade, or one of the 3 special win conditions: Odin's sword, Yggdralis, and Gates of Helheim. I would recommend for a beginner to win through domination. This is the easiest and most straightforward ways to win. The way I would do that is through a wash, which I made a video about that you can see on the top right now. But I can't show you build orders for every single win condition for every single clan, which is basically impossible, because there are just simply too many variables to consider. The only thing I can show you is how I came up with my own build orders and how you can make your own ones as well. For that, I would write down your victory you want to go for and everything you need to achieve that. Let's say that you want to win with the domination victory condition by rushing the other person on 801 with 12 warriors and a war chief. This means that you need 150 gold and 5 iron for your war chief, and 756 gold for your 12 warriors, which you can look up on Northgard wiki. The link for that is in the description as well. With this information in mind, I would create a private lobby with bots in a FFA, because if you play with bots in a 2v2 for example, the bots will randomly feast and stuff like that. Then I would build my build order like you have seen before, and try to build up the money income I need. Oh, which actually includes upgrades like your town hall and your scout camp, which are another 100 gold. Then I would build 1 trading post and try to build up the money with that. If I don't have the amount of money I wanted in this specific time, I would build 2 trading posts and play around with my limits. This way of playing the game also shows me what to scale in the lottery, which in this case should support building up the money, which basically forces me to scale mining efficiency, coinage, wool trade, and food trade. And since I want to go for a war after that, I want to scale weaponsmith, fewer coats, and probably military strategy and stuff like that. This way of playing will allow you to develop this feeling for the clan much faster instead of playing these 40-minute long games, because if something goes wrong offline, you just can start over and you won't hurt anybody as well in the process. And if you want to support me, you can do that by scrolling around on my blog, which is about learning, motivation, and improving yourself in general. If you still have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section below, or you can feel free to check out some of my YouTube tutorials. In any rate, it was a pleasure to make videos for you and reading your lovely comments, which were supporting and motivating. I wish you lots of fun playing this game. Have a good one.